Meanwhile, protesters marched through the streets of Bayonne carrying placards, official portraits of French President Emmanuel Macron, which were stolen from town halls around France. The protest is the finale of months of civil disobedience, which saw protesters steal the portraits with the aim of carrying them upside down at the G7 summit, in defiance rather than respect of Macron's politics and the image he's trying to present to world leaders at the summit in neighboring Biarritz. The protesters marched carrying paper packages of portraits, some the stolen ones of Macron, others carrying slogans such as "Where is Macron when it comes to climate change and social justice?" The movement, which was formed under the slogan "Take down Macron," has stolen 125 portraits to match the 125 days it took France to overtake its carbon footprint this year. Our Global Affairs Analyst Ademola Oshodi joins me now to discuss the G7 summit. Now, with the convergence of world leaders at this summit in France, analysts are predicting that this will be a difficult test of unity and solidarity due to deep divisions over a range of issues, including trade and climate change. Do you share in that thoughts?
It would be. It would definitely be one of the challenges. But again, this is why the G7 has been created. It's to deal with those issues of inclusiveness, sustainability, and also equitable issues. So issues of gender inequality and also challenges of economic deprivation and security issues is why the G7 is there. And that is why Africa is a big focus point, especially on issues of this inequality, of women inequality, and also issues of security, especially in the Sahel area of sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, you mentioned that Africa is a focal point, but we have Burkina Faso has been invited, but Nigeria is conspicuously absent in this summit. Can a talk be complete without the giant of Africa being involved?
Yes, it can. Nigeria has been invited many times. It's many cases they invite different African countries at different times. It's not just Burkina Faso. There's Senegal, there's South Africa, there's I believe there's also Rwanda that's been invited. So Nigeria is a major and important player in Africa, but there's all the African countries that also need that attention, and it's sort of like an rotational invitation. Sometimes you have Egypt, we have other parts of Africa being invited, so it's nothing unusual, and it's for an African-centric solution. So it's Nigeria not being there does not change anything.
Okay, so how has the policies or solutions that the G7 have proffered regarding African countries, how has it affect the continent?
Well, these are the rich countries. They have their attention been focused on the most deprived part of the world, which is Africa. It's very, very useful. We have the United States, we have the United Kingdom, we have Japan, we have Germany, and Canada, and the rest, focusing on the issues here. And it may not be as effective initially, but overall, there's this attention, this focus where, players, especially development partners and NGOs, can also get their reports and their stories being heard, and also they can also regardless of the state, pump money into Africa. Ford Foundation, for instance, takes the G7 communique very serious, and attention focused on Africa brings that publicity to the air. They're talking about gender equality. They're talking about the issues of credit financing for women, something that is a big part of the economic gap in Africa. If they can push and provide credit in some way, it will go a long way in helping the very poor people of the continent. There's also the issue of the Sahel, where there's a huge climate change challenge with the Sahara desert, and also terrorism in Burkina Faso, in Mali, Niger, and also parts of Nigeria and Cameroon. So that attention does bring enough focus on that area, and it helps towards a solution, or bring in towards redeeming the issues that challenges the whole continent.
All right, China is also a part of the summit. Now, with a trade war between the U.S. and China, do you expect a resolution quite soon?
Well, it's not an African issue. I hope it does provide some solution to the issue of trade within China and America. But if it goes a long way in helping Africa, it goes a long way in ensuring the business of development in Africa does not stall or stagnate, then fine. It's a lot of it is politics. A lot of it is grandstanding, elections, and etc. But as long as it benefits Africa, it does not slow the progress and development of Africa. And that's really what really concerns me, and that's what should concern us in this continent.
Ademola Oshodi, Global Affairs Analyst, thank you very much for talking to us on this.